Well, howdy, it's Mike here again. Yeah, so while I was trying to develop some text overlays, I discovered that CS4 has a bug that showed up in CS3. But as you can see, what happens is when you try to enter text, there's nothing that's evident at all on the screen, and if you look up here at the text size, you see it's some negative number. Now, even going ahead and changing the font size to something that should show up on this, you still don't get anything. You can mess around with this as much as you want, but the only way that I found to fix it is to go in and delete your Photoshop preferences file. Now, apparently one way you can get rid of the preferences folder is you quit Photoshop, either CS3 or CS4, and then when you start it back up again, you hold down Control-Alt-Shift. Apparently a dialog box will show up asking if you want to reset the preferences, and you say yes, and then it goes ahead and loads and everything's going to be fine. But just as when I'm working in Photoshop, I don't like to do something that I can't undo real easy. I think it's easier and better to just go in and rename your Photoshop preferences file after you've closed Photoshop, otherwise it won't let you do it. And then the next time it starts, it'll create another new one, just as though you'd press the Control-Alt-Shift while you were loading it. But if for some reason it doesn't work out, then you can just go back and rename the file back to what it was. So anyhow, here's how you do it. You open an Explorer window, and then you go to whichever drive you have your program preferences stored in, and usually that's under Documents and Settings on the C drive. If you have drive space issues, you might have put it somewhere else, but if you did that, you don't need me to be telling you this. But so you go to Documents and Settings, you go to whatever your username is. Mine is M, being original. You go to Application Data. Now, if y'all don't see Application Data, it's because it's a hidden system folder. Probably if you don't know how to show hidden system folders, you maybe shouldn't be doing this at all. But click on your application data, go to Adobe. In this case we're looking for CS4, Adobe Photoshop 4. Go to CS4 settings, and then the one you're looking for is the PSP file. Adobe Photoshop CS4 prefs.psp. We'll rename this to something that will make it obvious why we did it. Close on out of that, fire Photoshop up again. And as you can see, when Photoshop comes up, it's reset to default workspace. And if you look up here, all your recent files have vanished. It's, one of the more helpful features here. But at least when you open your image, you can actually put text on it again. And you can reload your workspace. Yeah, I'm going to hope you'd saved your custom workspace as something other than default. Otherwise, it's gone. You're going to have to spend 10 or 15 minutes putting it back together. But it's actually working out good for me because, as I said, I was going to go back to this for making these video things anyhow. So all of the Photoshop tools and whatnot are right here on one screen. But anyhow, hope this helped y'all if you're missing your text tool in Photoshop 3 or 4.